Welcome to Lesson 3 of the Breaking Cycles series. How Dishonor Wounds Identity, Understanding the Hidden Roots of Addiction, Chaos, and Inner Conflict. What is dishonor and why it matters? Dishonor is not just disrespect. Dishonor is the violation of value. It happens when boundaries are broken, dignity is ignored, authority is misused, a person is treated without worth. Dishonor can happen in families, in relationships, through words, through actions, through experiences that were never meant to happen. And sometimes dishonor happens without your consent. But even when it is not your fault, it can still affect how you see yourself. Dishonor does something very deep. It wounds identity. It plants seeds like, I don't matter. I am not valuable. My body is not worth protecting. I don't deserve respect. And from that wounded place, people begin to live in ways that reflect what they believe about themselves. Let's get an awareness how dishonor becomes a root cause. Most people only look at behavior, but behavior follows belief. And belief is shaped by experience. If a person experiences dishonor, they may begin to disconnect from themselves, lose self-respect, accept less than they deserve, struggle with boundaries, engage in self-destructive behaviors. This is how dishonor becomes a root. Because internally, something has been damaged, and when identity is wounded, people try to cope, sometimes through sexual behavior, emotional withdrawal, chaos in relationships, rebellion or lawlessness, not because they want to, but because something inside is unresolved. Let's carry out a reflection, recognizing dishonor patterns. Let me give you an example. Boundary violation. You were not protected, your boundaries were crossed, you felt powerless, you internalized that your body is not valuable. What happened later? You struggle with self-control or self-respect. For example, emotional dishonor. You were ignored, your voice didn't matter, you were dismissed, so you learned that my needs don't matter. Later, what happens? You overgive, you people please, and you neglect yourself. Let me give you a third example. Family dishonor patterns. Conflict, disrespect, instability leads to no healthy model of honor. So chaos feels normal. Later, you recreate similar patterns in your own life. Example 4, internal dishonor. You begin to speak negatively about yourself, tolerate harmful behaviors, ignore your own boundaries. You start dishonoring yourself. This is why addiction is not random. It is often connected to how you see your own value. Now, how do you restore honor practically? Step 1, acknowledge where dishonor happened. Ask yourself, where in my life did I experience dishonor? Was it in relationships, in family, in experiences, or was it in how I was treated? Be honest. Acknowledgement brings clarity. Step 2, separate what happened from who you are. This is critical. What happened to you is not who you are. Say this statement: the experience was dishonor, but it does not define my identity. Step 3, rebuild self-respect. Start treating yourself with honor. Speak to yourself with respect. Set boundaries. Protect your time and energy. Make decisions that reflect your worth. Honor begins within. Step 4, establish boundaries. Dishonor thrives where there are no boundaries. Begin to say no. Limit access to harmful environments. Create emotional and physical safety. Boundaries are not rejection, they are protection. Step 5. Redefine your value. Write this down. My value is not based on what I experienced. My value is inherent. Repeat this daily. Your identity must be rebuilt on truth, not pain. Now let's carry out an identity connection. Dishonor distorts identity. It makes you feel less than, unworthy, and invisible. But honor restores identity. When you begin to respect yourself, protect yourself, and value yourself, you begin to live differently. Because you no longer act from wounded identity, you act from restored identity. Let's conclude this lesson with what it means to restore honor. Restoring honor means you stop agreeing with what dishonor told you. You separate your identity from your experiences. You rebuild your sense of value. You begin to live with respect. And when honor is restored, your choices change, your boundaries strengthen, your patterns shift. Because you no longer see yourself the same way. Now, I need you to make a declaration. I reject every form of dishonor in my life. I release every lie about my worth. I am valuable. I am worthy of respect. I honor myself. I protect myself. I live in alignment with my value. My identity is restored. See you in lesson 4. Good luck.